Hi, my name is Steve Anderson. I live in Wisconsin with my 4 children, and we run an adult family home for the mentally disabled. About 3 years ago, our family had fallen under hardship. We had a couple of other businesses, restaurants, and it just fell kind of on its face. So I went and researched how to get help from my mortgage company, which was Chase, JP Mortgage, and they had suggested the HAMP program. So I went ahead and I filled out all their paperwork, and I submitted it, and I just kept getting the same requests over and over again, as far as bank statements, canceled checks, proof of employment, several items that I did provide over and over again. And about after 2.5 years this went on, and after 3 payments, they wouldn't even accept a payment, which was very frustrating. So our family was very concerned about our home, which we had built in 2008, and we've been faithful Chase customers and made our payments like clockwork on time every time. I wasn't getting very far, and I was really frustrated with the documents of the repetitiveness. The bank statements, like I said, proof of employment, letterheads from my employer. At that point, I decided I might need to seek out some legal guidance, because it was just running in a circle. Everything they asked for, they had before. So I did hire a company called Direct Processing out of California, and I worked with them. They wanted $2,600 up front, and it was really hard to come up with the money at that time because we were in such a hardship. So I did. I come up with the money, and I sent it out to them. And it was kind of the same thing going on. The only difference was they were kind of a middleman. They would call me up and say, okay, they need bank statements, and they need letterheads from your employer. Same kind of stuff, but we weren't making any headway there. So I started to question their ability as an attorney as far as representing our family. And they had no responses as far as Better Business Bureau or anything like that. So that concerned me. So I got a letter in the mail from another attorney, from Roosevelt Law Firm, that said they could represent us. They had 5 stars from Better Business Bureau, testimonies like I'm doing now. Anthony encouraged me. He says, would you please look at the testimonies and so on, and all the references that he gave me. And I did. And like you, I was probably a little hesitant at that point, because I thought, hey, anybody can make a video and put it on YouTube. It doesn't mean that it's real. And I've heard that a lot of people were struggling with this HAMP program. So I called Anthony back, and I says, I really spent all the money that we could scrape up to get this other attorney, but I don't have faith in him. He said, Steve, would you do a 3-way phone conversation with me right now with your mortgage company? Now, mind you, at this point, the company that I had hired, Direct Processing, had sent me and said that no further documentation was needed, that it was all submitted and waiting for underwriting. So I called to concur with them, and they said, yeah, we're just waiting for Chase to respond from the underwriters. No more documentation is needed. Okay, so then I did a 3-way conversation with Anthony Frieri. At that point, I realized that this company that was representing us was not legit. The lady from Chase had said that there were several documents, which were the same requests that I had been getting for the last 2.5 years, were needed, that it was out of underwriting, and that they were moving for a possible sale date or foreclosure very soon. So within 5 minutes of that conversation, I hung up the phone and I said, Anthony, I'd like you to represent me. I says, it's financially, I really can't afford it, but I can't afford not to. So we came up with the money. He sent all the paperwork, and we split it up into payments that we could afford. So I submitted it, and they started requesting the same documents again. And Nancy, William, Umar, and Anthony reassured me, Steve, we're just getting established with our law firm. I know you've submitted this several times, but we need to submit it from our end. We're only going to submit it once, because once they have the documentation, that's it. Then we're going to tell them what is the reason. Why do you keep requesting the same things? And it went on for about 5 months, and I was starting to get concerned again. And they kept calling asking for canceled checks and whatnot, stuff that I couldn't provide at this point. Anthony reassured me, says, Steve, you don't have to answer their calls. Just but once, you tell them that you're being represented by Roosevelt Law Firm. And so I did. After a while, the calls stopped. He reassured me that everything's on track. I submitted all my bank statements and pay stubs and everything that was needed monthly. Within 5 months, William Homeowner called me up one night, and he said, Steve, I just don't know how to tell you this, but he said, we got it done. And at that point, it had carried on so long that I was very hesitant to believe that this actually was true. So I called Chase the next day, and it was true. I got documentations within a week, and we filled those out, had them notarized, sent them out, and they did what they say they were going to do. They took care of it. The payment wasn't as low as we would have liked it, but everything worked out. We got to save our home, and our family was in such distress over the last 3 years of getting this to actually go through. It was unbelievable. It took just a huge amount of pressure off everybody that was involved. I guess I can't say thanks enough to William, Anthony, and Nancy. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, I'm not real good at making videos, but Nancy was really reassuring to me because we run the Home for Adult Mentally Disabled, which we get paid through the state. And it's very hard for a lot of people that aren't in this line of work to understand how the income is figured. And her family member actually has the same situation we did, so that was really nice. We didn't have to climb that mountain. It had already been conquered. So a huge thanks, and I'm reassuring everybody on the other end of this video that this is not a fake video. This is not a prop. This is real, and it happened, and it worked for us, and it'll work for you. I can't say enough about them. I just want to say thank you to everybody, and back them up 100%. They are, and they do what they say.